Okay, so what we're going to work on today is exponential to logarithmic. Now, we've always been going logarithmic to exponential, so we're kind of going to work everything backwards today. Now, what I've done is, again, I've written in the exponential form and the log form. Okay, so y equals b to the x, log base b of y equals x. I believe on some of our papers we've done where the x and y are opposite. So this would be instead b to the y equals x. And then if we did it over here, it would be log base b of x equals y. It's the same as long as you switch both of them. And then this would then become log, still based on the denominator, but in the numerator now it would be x. But you'll notice when we start playing, like with when we actually do some problems, that when the numbers are in, it kind of makes more sense. So again, we're going to work from exponential to log, and then, so this will be the actual question. It'll be in exponential form. I'm going to make you change it to log form because we need to make sure we can go back and forth between the two terms. And then on our solution, you can't type this in the calculator. It doesn't work for, it doesn't work. So what it becomes is it becomes the log of y divided by the log of b, and that'll give us our answer. Okay, I'll show you what this kind of looks like in two examples. So here's our first example. We're going to convert from exponential to logarithmic, and then we're going to find the solution. Two decimal places. All right, exponential. It's 17 equals 3 to the b. So remember, what we're going to do is this 3 is our base, so that is going to go in this little box. 17 is going to go in the other box, and then b is kind of our solution. What are we trying to find? Now this could have been any variable. It's b, which I know is confusing because we're using b in the other forms, but it could be m, it could be w, it could be any letter that you want. So it's going to be log of 17 divided by log of 3. It's always really going to be the larger number divided by the smaller number. So then all we do is we type that into the calculator, and the log button, because I know we haven't used it yet, is right next to the 7. So log 17 divided by log 3. And you get about 2.58 with rounding. So then that'll be our answer, and that's all. So since we had to use a calculator for this, notice it'll be a calculator type problem. And so just make sure you know how to type it in. So again, I always start with what number is being raised to the variable because I know that'll be my b, or my base. So that's what I put here. The other whole number is 13. So that's what I'll put here. And then my variable is r. Okay, so now I change it to how to find the solution. So it's going to be log 13 over log 12. So that's what I'm going to type in. And when I do that, I get about 1.03. So try the rest of those. Make sure you're changing it correctly. I've tried to mix it up a little bit where, the exponents are on one side, the answers are on the other. But again, think about whatever number is raised to the variable is your base, and then the answer goes right next to it, and then it equals the variable for these. So this is the first part. Try these out. Okay, so now we are on the back of the worksheet. The back of the worksheet is going to be all no calculator. So if you want to put that up there, it's going to be on the non-calculator part. Okay, so again, non-calculator part. Okay, so now this one is going to involve the natural log, the e. So notice all of these are going to have e to the x in them, okay? So that's kind of what makes it special. That's how you know that you're going to be using these steps. So there's only 2 steps. Pretty easy. The first part is treat the e to the x like an x. So what you're going to do is you're going to isolate the variable. And that's the same as like solving for multi-step equations. Add 3 to both sides, divide by 2. And when I say variable, I mean e to the x. So you're going to isolate e to the x. So your answer is going to be e to the x equals a number. So once you have your answer, you change it change to natural log. Which remember is ln. Okay, so what it's going to be is you're just going to change it to natural log. And again, I'll go through an example. I'll show you what it looks like. It's actually pretty easy as long as you have your basic solving equation skills. So let's take a look at one example here. So here's our first example. Negative 9 e to the x plus 1 equals negative 80. First step, I teach a lot of Algebra 1. I like to build the wall, and then I like to move things over. So we're going to subtract 1 from both sides first. Negative 9 e to the x equals negative 81. Still have this negative 9 with the e to the x, because remember, I'm removing everything. I'm isolating e to the x. So divide by negative 9, divide by negative 9. I have e to the x equals negative 81 divided by negative 9 is just 9. Now, this is an acceptable answer, but the reason is on a multiple choice, they have other ways to represent this. So I want to make sure we know the other way. The other way is to change e to the x to log. So it's going to become ln of 9 equals x, where this is the even better answer. So that's the answer that you need to have for sure. So again, just solve the equation, you'll get e to the x equals a number, and just change it to ln form, and you got it. So practice those other 5 problems.